Ever since grade 8, in my learning plan, my goals have been centered around improving my communication and presenting skills. Throughout my learning journey so far, from grade 8 to 10, I've built valuable skills that have shaped me into the learner I am today. This all started off with me, that girl right there, the shy and creative kid my parents always described me to be. However, since I started in the performance learning program right from the start of grade 8, I have been able to bring those creative skills to life. This has allowed me to step out of my comfort zone, building many more important skills that I know I will continue to benefit from throughout the rest of my life. So let's rewind back to grade 8, when I first started off in PLP. Looking back on grade 8 projects is interesting because the work I completed is definitely not up to my grade 10 standards. However, that just shows how much I've improved throughout this learning process. So let's talk about the advertisement project we did in grade 8. As this was a group project, I was able to begin the process of building my teamwork skills with other students that I did not know very well. This project involved talking to local businesses so that we could create advertisements. Looking at my drafts and the final product, it's pretty good if you just ignore how the text is cut off and hard to see. However, I'm not here to criticize grade 8 me's work. So, what did I learn from this project? I learned how to work with a group of unfamiliar people and connect with the community to create an advertisement that can be used in the real world. Moving on to grade 9, which is when I really feel I started to build my presenting and communicating skills. The first project that really challenged this skill was the Revolutions on Trial. We created a courtroom for an exhibition where my classmates and I all had to present our cases. This really pushed me to step out of my comfort zone. Of course, presenting was scary, but I'm proud of myself for overcoming it. In this project, I was also able to build my collaboration, critical and reflective thinking skills, and lastly, my personal awareness and responsibility skills.
In your opinion, would you say that the French Revolution was overall effective or ineffective, and why?
Because of this great start at improving my communication skills, I was able to continue this in our documentary project later on in the year. For this project, we all created documentaries on a topic of your choice. This documentary had to include a few interviews from people in the community. I was able to communicate and plan with some instructors and managers at the barn that I ride at, as my topic was on horses, to interview them.
Reese came to me and she was very, very flat and kind of dull in her eye, and she didn't make a whole lot of, she wasn't very interactive. And in the 3 years that I've owned her, she is just really funny and quirky. She's very sensitive. She's also very emotionally intuitive. So if you're having a bad day, she will come and try to make sure you're okay and take that from you and release it.
But what did I learn from this? I learned many skills throughout this project, including making a montage, using the rule of thirds, different filming angles, and of course, creating a meaningful story that includes a beginning, middle, and end. But the biggest thing that I learned was how to engage and entertain an audience using my video and storytelling skills. Now I'm almost done grade 10, and to finish the year, I was challenged with a podcasting project. For this, I had to pick a topic that would influence others for good, but making sure it's still something that I was interested in. As I completed the documentary on horses the year prior, I decided to go a different path and go with social media as my topic. I really wanted this podcast to be engaging, so throughout my episodes, I used different social media topics and trends to discuss why we're all consumed. I used what we learned in making my own art and creating podcast art. I included the social media aspect by having my art look like an iPhone or iPad lock screen, using popular social media platforms as notifications. So here's my podcast. I was able to communicate with my peers to ensure I had one or more interviewee per episode. I feel this type of podcast would really keep the listeners engaged, as there's more than one perspective. So overall in this project, I was able to use design and content to create storytelling to achieve my goal in influencing others for good.